How many people in Iran are actually behind the Mullah regime? The numbers will shock you. This is Iran's own internal survey, and we are going to present that to you. It was done sometime last year and then again updated sometime this year. So it is fairly recent. And if you read this thing, it's going to shock you. The important takeaway here is it's not just this one survey. There are other surveys conducted by Eastern European. There are other surveys conducted by European countries, and that also reflects the same thing. So, is Iran ready for a regime change? And if yes, what kind of a regime would they want? A democracy or something else? All these questions we'll try and address, but first let us understand the mood of the Iranian public. Here we go. Here comes Iran's moment of truth. There is growing discontent and there is calls for change. 92% of Iranians express dissatisfaction with the country's current state and governance. Now you understand why the mullah is making all those rants. He's trying to safeguard that 8%, but that's extremely powerful because it looks like that has the levers of power. The state-run 𝗤𝗄𝘅 newspaper reported the findings based on a survey by the Ministry of Culture and Islamic Guidance. The survey is part of the fourth wave of the National Survey on Values and Attitudes of Iranians conducted by the Office of National Projects of the Research Center for Culture, Arts and Communication. About 1/3 of respondents believe the country's situation is not reformable under the current regime. The survey reflects increasing public discontent and loss of confidence in the possibility of improvement under the current leadership. They don't think that things are going to change. The fourth wave of the national survey, this is a snapshot of public sentiment. The fourth wave of national survey of the values and attitudes of Iranians was conducted in November 2023, involving 15,878 participants aged 15 and older from both urban and rural areas across 15 provinces. Some results from the survey remain confidential and have not been made accessible to the media. We are going to give you the entire list, or as much as possible. The survey revealed widespread anger and resentment among Iranians towards the regime. Portions of the survey results published in May 2024 showed a significant change in public values, indicating a declining desire among housewives to bear children. Over half the survey respondents expressed support for premarital relationships between boys and girls, a view that challenges the regime's conservative social policies and values. What are the key concerns of the Iranians? Economic issue is the number one. Price and inflation 81.9%, unemployment 47.9%, addiction 26.9%, economic administrative corruption 13%, housing 12.1%, mandatory hijab 11.9%, youth marriage 10.7%, divorce 7.1%, water shortages 5.7%, disregard for the law 4.7%, restrictions on freedom of speech and press 4.2%. These concerns highlight Iran's socio-economic struggles and public frustration with the regime's failure to address them. It's a long building crisis. It's been happening for a long time. This sign that there is a lot of public discontent was evident even from before the 2022 protests. You remember the hijab protest, right? The ISPA had reported that 59% of Iranians lacked hope for the country's future. Economic challenges have worsened over the past 3 years. The regime's violent response to the 2022 protests likely intensified public opposition. Public disillusionment has deepened due to economic hardship and government repression. You know the interesting thing, the recently concluded elections for the president of Iran, 88% boycotted it. And the boycott highlighted public rejection of the regime's legitimacy. They don't even consider this as a legitimate government. Despite manipulating turnout figures, the regime conceded that over half the population abstained. So, looks like the regime said 50% voted, but looks like that was cooked up. If 88% stayed away, Did they falsify 30% of the vote, 38% to be exact? So there's a lot of questions. Basically, this Mullah regime does not have the approval or support of the Iranian population. It's only a matter of time before this is going to be brought down. Now, there have been efforts by political parties to try and counter this, but they have been unsuccessful thus far. In fact, you saw 39 people being hung by the Iranian government on suspicions of aiding Israel. The boycott underscores widespread public disillusionment with the government. Now, the conclusions are as follows. 92% of Iranians are unhappy with the current governance. A significant portion believe that reform under the current regime is impossible. Economic hardships, corruption, and social restrictions are the primary sources of discontent. The regime faces a growing crisis of legitimacy as public anger rises. Without substantial policy and governance changes, unrest could lead to further protests and instability. There you have it. So the Iranian people have spoken. The question now is, how is this regime change going to be brought about? Is it going to be like the current mullah will be asked to leave along with his coterie and the IRGC? If so, where? Who will give them asylum? Because we have been seeing lately that anyone from this area emigrating to other countries are causing a lot of trouble. So we have to wait and see how that plays out. The most likely thing is something else, but I don't want to say anything right now. We'll wait and see what happens, because in my opinion, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.